Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we're back here and we're going to be looking at the top 10 fall 2023 anime. And before I start off, spoilers ahead because I'm going to be talking about maybe not exactly what happens in the series, but some plot points in there and stuff like that because I'm reviewing it. If you want to just hear a brief synopsis with no, I guess, spoilers, you could go to like my top fall anime that I was going to watch. So at the very beginning of the season. So if there's anything you do not want to hear about, you might want to skip that number or of that anime. Anyways, let's go on. So for number 10, I chose The Rising of the Shield Hero Season 3. Now, Rising of the Shield Hero Season 2 was not that great in my opinion. I didn't really like the Spirit Tortoise storyline and everything like that. The animation was kind of crap for it. Anyways, but Season 3 picked up. Okay, we didn't have any Spirit Tortoise or anything like that. We did have a big dragon that they had to fight, which that was not terrible. I mean, it was not perfect, but yeah. What else happened? He released a ton of slaves for his village. They were getting ready to. They're getting ready to fight another, like the Phoenix or whatever. That is another guardian kind of beast, kind of like the Spirit Tortoise. But before they're doing that, they're trying to level up. Naofumi, Philo, and Raphtalia are trying to get rid of their curse that they have on them that bring their stats down. They are also trying to find the other heroes, the sword hero, the bow hero, and the spear hero, because they've gone off and done their own thing. Some of them turned kind of like more cursed. Kind of like Naofumi's shield, they're using cursed abilities and stuff like that. Also, the princess from the first one. Let's just say her name's Trash, okay? Because I can't really say her other name. But yeah, Trash here. That is definitely not an honest, good girl. X to doubt. She's also going around and trying to, I guess, hurt the credibility of the heroes and stuff like that by kind of turning them bad or whatnot. That's the best way I can do it. And I have some memes around here that just to fill up some space, you know, like your crush, your master, your father, you, Raphtalia. And also Naofumi only liking her as a daughter and her being sad. But yeah, Rising of Shield Hero Season 3 was actually pretty good. We got quite a bit of cool stuff in there, and it's setting up for the next season, which should be hopefully pretty good. So now we'll move on to number 9. Okay, and for number 9, you know how I like my harem anime. So I chose the 100 Girlfriends Who Really Love You. And as the name suggests, there's 100 girlfriends that are going to be shown inside this series, I guess. We only got 5 so far. And I will move myself so we can see all of them together. Now, we have, going from left to right, we have Hakari here. That is a more pervy kind of girl. And pervy, curvy, whatnot. Then we have Karane here. I hope I'm saying all these fairly similar to what it is. But she is a tsundere. She beats him up. She doesn't like to show her emotions. On the flip side here, we have Nano. That she is a very high efficient person. As she's very good at school. And she doesn't really show emotions at all. But still pretty cute. Then we have Shizuka here. The small little black-haired girl here. And she is probably the shyest girl you could ever meet in the world. Because she doesn't even talk. She uses her phone to talk for her. So she's super cute. Then we have Kizuri here. That don't let her size let you think of anything. But she is kind of a science kind of like major person. And she makes concoctions or potions. And they can do different things. So one of the potions she takes, it makes her into this small form here. I didn't put the her actual big form on here because she doesn't really use it very much in the series. But this is only a form of her. And she also makes other concoctions and stuff like that, and that's her big thing. And you might be wondering, okay, who is your favorite girl out of this? Like, if you had to choose one of them here, who would it be? This is a harem anime. You have to choose what your best girl is. Well, Hakari here has her, like, upsides. She's very straightforward and everything like that. Plus, she's pretty pervy and whatnot. So, I mean, it's hard to kind of say no to that. I'm not really into the tsundere here. I'm sorry. I don't really want to get beat up. Nano doesn't really show that many emotions. Shizuki is a little bit too shy. Now, Kizuri here, in her, like, big form, like her actual, like, teenage form or whatnot, she's pretty good, okay? And then also her being a science kind of, like, major person, that kind of fits with me, too. I love science. So, I mean, really, Kizuri would probably be one of my favorite. But not only, there's only 5 that we get shown through most of the series, except for near the very end, where we get a 6th one. And you might be wondering, who's the 6th one? It's not even on the main picture here. Well, a plot point happens later on that Hakari is trying to get taken away by her mother. And guess who becomes the 6th girl? Hakari's mother. Oh, and her name is Hahari. And she is my choice for this. Oh, it was very surprising whenever we got this revelation. That's why I said that there is spoilers ahead. But yeah, she'd probably be my choice. Yeah. So that's the reason why I chose the 100 Girlfriends. I'm kind of looking forward to there being more. Because at the very end, they kind of showed other people inside the school that are most likely going to become his girlfriends. And we're going to get to see them. I think one was a little more sporty, it looked like. I don't really know about most of the others. But I'm looking forward to seeing more of this. So let's move on to number 8. Okay, for number 8, I chose Shangala Frontier, which is a continuing anime that's going into the next season. Initially, I did not know if I was going to like this at all. This is one that I thought, I might end up dropping, like, initially. But it actually turned out pretty good. This is not really an isekai. It's more of the line of SAO if you could also leave the game from SAO. So it's another VR game where he goes into the world and plays around and stuff like that. So we have Sunraku here, the bird-faced man in the very front of the picture. And he is a trash gamer, where I'm not meaning trash as in he's bad. I mean he likes trash games. He likes bad games. He likes to play them. So, this is Sunraku going to a, as they say, god-tier game to play. And, like, there's, like, not really any glitches or anything like that. So, he is just using his pure skills from playing all these games to get better in this game. Early on in the game, I think, like, episode maybe 2 or 3, something like that. I think 3. He runs into this black wolf thing, which I don't think this is how it's pronounced, but it's Lycagon, the Night Slayer. And it is a unique monster inside the game that, like, no one's killed. And he gets killed by it pretty easily, which he is very low level. And he gets kind of cursed, and the curse makes it so he can't wear armor at all, which he wasn't wearing armor anyway, so it didn't really hurt him that much. Then we have Arthur, I think, Pencilgon. Yes, Arthur Pencilgon here, the girl with the pink hair, not pink, purple hair. She's pretty good. She's a PKer. She likes to kill, like, players. We have Emule here, the little rabbit. Then we have Vash, the rabbit's father, which I probably need to move myself so you can see Vash here. He's pretty cool. I like him. But anyways, yeah, Shangala Frontier is pretty good. This was kind of getting ready for a boss fight at the very end of this, like, season where it's continuing, so it's gonna, like, finish up. But they're going to fight another one of the unique monsters, kind of like Lycagon there. I think it's like the Tomb Guard or something like that. But anyways, they're getting ready for that. But pretty good. It is one of these that, like, is pretty funny. It has a lot of unique stuff happening in it, not like a lot of animes. And yeah, it was nice. Don't think there's anything else I need to say about it. But yeah, and initially he'll go to Shangala Frontier. That's the game that he's plays, the God tier game. And every once in a while he'll go back to a trash game to like freshen up his skills and stuff. And you'll see these other games that he's like kind of perfected the art of playing and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. So now we'll move on to number 7. Number 7 is one of these kind of like guilty passions or whatever. These are okay. First, it's I'm in love with the Villainous. It is based around in an Otome game, an Otome RPG, and the girl gets, I guess, kind of reincarnated or transported to the world, and she gets put into the heroine of the world. And as you know, I do like to watch my Otome animes and stuff like that. I don't really play any of the games, but watching them is pretty good. And whenever she initially played the game, she loved like the Villainous. Esque the name, I'm in love with the Villainous. So, Claire there, the blonde-haired girl, is the Villainous. She's not really like villainy actually. She's just kind of like a mean, like a bully. She's a bully. And Ray loves that about her. She loves getting bullied by her and everything like that. So every time Claire bullies Ray is instantly like, "Oh, Claire-sama, oh," and it's kind of funny. It's interesting. I like it, and like if you like Otome animes, they're pretty good. Yeah, there's not really much to say. It's just her trying to get Claire's attention, and it's just good. I like it. Oh, and they also have this little slime here that for a familiar. That's what Ray has as a familiar. It's just a little slime. He's so cute, and he can transform into things and like that. And even though he's a monster, he's so lovable. Oh, but yeah, I'm in love with Villainous. Was pretty good. I liked it. So let's move on to number 6. Okay, for number 6, we have Dr. Stone's New World Part 2. And this continues on from part 1, of course, where they're heading to the Treasure Island to get the materials from the crashed spaceship or whatever that came from the space station that Senku's father was in. So they're heading to the Treasure Island. They get there and they figure out that, oh, there's people living here. And also, one of them has the petrification item. So it goes from, hey, we're going to get these precious minerals from the spacecraft, which what they're wanting is platinum, I'm pretty sure. And that is going to be used to make more revival fluid, because instead of nitric acid, from bat guano. So if they get that material from the spacecraft, then they can make as much rejuvenation liquid as they want. And can revive all the world people. But anyways, they get to the island. It's ruled by kind of crazy man. You can see he's the other side of the picture here. He's on the red side there. And he is trying to petrify all of the Kingdom of Science that came on the ship. And yeah, basically the whole story is them getting ready to steal the petrification item from him. And like I said, spoilers again or whatever, but they do end up getting it from him. They get the petrification item, which is called the Medusa or whatnot, and they learned that whenever you could use the Medusa on someone, then use a rejuvenation liquid, and then it heals basically anything that happens to them. So that is like, I guess, the Dr. Stone, because it's kind of a doctor. It turns someone to stone. When they turn back, they're cured. So I guess the Medusa is pretty much the Dr. Stone. And they also learned that the Medusa, there's not only just one of the Medusas, which most of them got destroyed in on the island because some guy destroyed them all. Yeah, that's like a little plot point, but there's more of them. They're not just one. And also, they know where they have to go next, okay? The next place they have to go to is the moon. And you might be saying here, in a stone world going to the moon, that's going to be insane. It's going to take forever, right? Well, if you think that, you have not met Senku. Because this is a man that has made a fully functioning boat, radio, telephone. What else has he made? He's made a drone. He's made all these different things from nothing. So, is it going to take a little while? Probably. But Senku has a plan. So, at the very end of the season, he sets a plan apart that he's like, okay, we have to go to these different areas on the globe to gather precious materials to build the spaceship. And it looks like they're probably going to go to America next because they have to find a crop that is, I guess, mostly grown in America. And that crop is corn. It's like the best crop, he says, basically. And you can also use it to make alcohol or ethanol or whatever that can be used to make more rejuvenation liquid, whatnot. It's also pretty good food. So when they revive people, they're going to need food source. So that's the first thing it sounds like they're going to do in the next season. But yeah, still pretty good. And I also have some memes around here from Dr. Stone or whatnot that people have made. And yeah, basically the top one, it's from like Umbrella Academy with Dr. Stone in there. And it's like the people of the village when he makes some invention. And it's like, this makes no sense. What is it going to do? And it's like, well, it would make sense if you were smarter. And that's kind of mean, but that is Senku. Then Senku just being the complete Chad he is. Like, what kind of girls do you like, Senku, you know? And it's like a girl who can pump a ton of oxygen into a furnace. He is just about making progress. Then we have another, like a JoJo crossover up here, up in the top right-hand corner, where we have the stone mask, the Pillarmen, that's what their name is, sorry. And it's like, oh, who do you want to revive with the liquid? You can choose. It's like, oh, it's going to be them. And then, of course, since I'm sciencey focused and Dr. Stone is sciencey focused, so the random friend, hey, are you interested in joining a D&D game? I'm running it. Someone has left and we need someone to play. And then me, as in me, with a stupid amount of knowledge in physics and chemistry, oh, sure, yeah, that makes sense. Which I'm kind of sad because it usually doesn't work because none of them are that as sciencey focused as me, and they're like, no, that doesn't work. And it's like, it would work if you were smarter. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm just joking. But yeah, anyways, Dr. Stone, New World Part 2, it actually gave a lot more to the story, so now we know a lot more. And we're heading to the moon, it looks like, in the future. So yeah, let's go on to number 5. Number 5, as you can see, is Spy X Family, or Spy Family Season 2. And Spy Family is great. It's cute. It's just very good. And as you can see, we have little Anya. If you don't know about Spy Family, so it's a family that's kind of a fake family put together. So we have Lloyd, the blonde-haired one, with a gun here in the middle picture. He is a spy, and he has to put together a family. And then on the other side, we have Yor, which is the black-haired, very pretty woman with, like, the needle. And she is an assassin. Then we have Anya here, who is a telepath that can read everyone's minds. So Lloyd doesn't know that Anya's a telepath or an assassin. Yor does not know that Anya is a telepath and Lloyd is a spy. And Anya knows that both of them are spy and assassin. And it's basically the story of just them, like, living out a fake family life. And this season, they go on a cruise ship. And it's very good. Like, Yor is on a mission or whatnot to protect some people. And Anya is on there with Lloyd, just having a vacation. And it's just Anya trying to help Yor while also trying to keep it secret from Lloyd. And it's just very good. And there's a movie coming up. I forgot what it's called, but it's something White. Code White, I think. But yeah, it's just very good series. It's very comedy focused and everything like that with some action and whatnot. It's just very good. And then come to Spy Family. We have average dad, Lloyd. We have Anya. We have a hot waifu, which everyone loves Yor. We have Becky, the Becky, which is Anya's friend. Let me move myself. We have Scion Boy, which is I forgot his name. We have Aaron Yeager, which is yours brother in here. We have a Karen, we have a punching bag, and we have Mr. Elegance, which is like I think the headmaster or something like that at the school. He works at the school. Yes, Spy Family is just very great. And as you can tell, basically all the ones in the top 10 I kind of really liked. And there's a few in the honorable mentions that we're also going to talk about that I did like. But most of the top 10 are just great. So let's move on to number 4. JiuJitsu Kaizen, Season 2. So, as you can tell, like, I think a few seasons ago, whenever the original JiuJitsu Kaisen came out, the first season, I did not watch it because I thought it was going to be overhyped, just like that. I was wrong. It was hyped, but it was not overhyped. It was very good. So I caught up with JiuJitsu Kaisen Season 1 this season, and I also watched Season 2 this season. And it is just good anime. It is very good. I really like the characters. As you can see here, I like Nanami and Todo here as my favorite characters. Todo having his clap ability, which every fight him and the main character are in, where he's sitting there clapping and they're just teleporting around, is an excellent fight. I love everything about those fights. And Nanami is just a cool guy. I like him. But yeah, basically, they are fighting curses, okay? And they all have grades and stuff like that of how powerful they are. And basically, the very beginning of Season 2, it's Gojo, which is like the kind of like teacher character to our main character. It is basically him back in school, showing some backstory to him and stuff like that, which I think a lot of people like that. And then we later go on to back to present time, and we're seeing Yuji, or Itadori, or whatever the main character's name. And we see him going around, and yeah, I don't want to give up too much, because JiuJitsu Kaisen's one of those that, like, I think you just need to watch. But it's very good. The action is very good. I like Todo, just like all of his fights. They're just great. And Nanami is just a very good character. I like him. Gojo's good too. I'm not going to say I don't like Gojo, but I think he is like... everyone likes him. I don't think I have to say anything. But yeah, just fighting curses and whatnot. So kind of like Demon Slayer, but add curses, and it's not like... it's not like older Japan. Yeah. So yeah, let's move on to number 3. Ooh, okay. Number 3, I have Undead Unluck, which Undead Unluck was one of those that I was like, I'd never heard of. It looked kind of funny, and it turned out to be pretty great. As you can see, it's my number 3 for this thing. It got above JiuJitsu Kaisen, which, if you're sitting here, it's like, how is this better than JiuJitsu Kaisen? Kind of on my scale, I tried to choose ones that had, this was the first season, like that was other than ones that were continuing on. So I tried to choose first season ones a little bit higher than others. So was JiuJitsu Kaisen probably better? Yeah, but I enjoyed Undead Unluck just a little bit, and it's also new, so I had to put it a little higher. So Undead Unluck, we have Andy here, which is, he cannot die, so he's immortal, and they call him Undead. So that's the undead in the name. And then we have Fuko over here, which is a girl that has no luck, or is very, very unlucky. She, basically, anyone that touches her dies. That's the gist of it. And they meet up, and now they're kind of like a tag team, Undead Unluck. And the main premise that they want is Andy wants to die. And Fuko is going to try to help him die by giving him the biggest stroke of unluck that she can ever produce. And Fuko's power has, like, as far as we know so far, is that the more she likes someone and the longer she's touching them, increases the unluck that happens. So basically, Andy wants to get her to fall in love with him so that he can get the biggest stroke of unluck. So basically, Andy, he can do tons of stuff with just his like regeneration, immortality, and stuff like that. He can shoot off his fingers as like bullets and stuff like that, using the blood as propulsion. He can also like cut off his legs and use his legs as like jetpacks, shooting out blood. He just does weird stuff like that. And at one point in this this season, they run into an enemy called Spoil, and Spoil turns people into like zombies. And since Andy can't die, he basically becomes like half zombie, half Andy, and stuff like that. And he can still control everything. And Spoil just can't kill him. It's funny. And then he can also talk to zombies since he's half zombie in that form. But yeah, that's the main premise. It's very like cute, very funny. It's very entertaining, and it's just great all around. I'm very excited to see this go on more. And it's like, you might think like, why do these people have these powers? Well, like just randomly people get these powers in the world. Like I think there's a certain amount, and whenever someone dies with the power, it gets transferred to someone else in the world. And there's also weird stuff that kind of happens where like there's a council or a table of people that if they don't do quests, then stuff happens to the world. It's weird. You need to watch it to figure that out. But the main premise is just very special people fighting and stuff like that. So, won't give away too much more than that. But yeah, then let's move on to number 2. I love number 2, Imminence and Shadow, Season 2. Imminence and Shadow is just great, okay? I love isekai, okay? That is one of my things. I like harem, I like isekai. If you put both those together, you've just made like a god tier show for me. This one is kind of that. I mean, it's not as much a harem because Shadow doesn't really show very much attention to the girls. But there are lots of girls that like him. Then it's an isekai. He gets transported to, well, he gets reincarnated into this world, I think. Whatever. He's in the new world. He is super overpowered. He creates like an underground organization called Shadow Garden that kind of does stuff for him that are super overpowered and all full of girls. And as you can see here on the right, my favorite girl is Delta, okay? She is kind of an animal-esque girl, and she is like always very loyal and very cute and wonderful and like kind of a little bit dumb. But then I also have Sid's famous move, which I am atomic. And that's like him using it right there. And he basically turns himself into an atom bomb. It's very good. But anyways, this season, part of the season, like a vampire gets resurrected or whatnot, which that is kind of interesting or whatnot. He also has this whole scheme where he tries to ruin all the banks in the world by creating counterfeit money and stuff like that. That's another arc in the story. What else happened? Oh, they summoned basically, not really a god, but they summoned a beast from another parallel world to try to destroy the world and stuff like that, or at least a city. Like, now, whenever I'm saying this, you don't have any connection to it and you don't understand what I'm saying. But you just need to watch to understand, because a lot of weird stuff happens in this show. It's very outlandish, it's very funny, it's an isekai, and it's great. But yeah, Sid is, like, this has become one of my favorite isekais out of any I've watched, because, like, I like Overlord, I like Konosuba, I like Rising the Shield Hero, I like, yeah, like all those different things. This has become one of my favorite because it makes fun of a lot of like anime tropes and whatnot, a lot of isekai tropes and just like everything. It's kind of a comedy. It's just a comedy of a comedy. And it's just great. Even if you don't like isekai, you should watch Imminence and Shadow. Give it a shot. But yeah, it's just good. So let's move on to number 1. Number 1. This is the best one this season, okay? I don't think anyone can tell me this is not the best one, unless you're just like a JiuJitsu Kaizen fan and you're just like, oh, JiuJitsu Kaizen is peak storytelling. Which, it's good, don't get me wrong, but Frieren Beyond Journey's End is better. This is the best that season. I don't think very many people would disagree with me. Unless you just don't like fantasy. So, Frieren, as you can tell by the ears, she is an elf. And she was a part of the heroes party that went and killed the Demon Lord, or the Demon King, or whatnot. I forgot what they call it now. Anyways, they finish up the fight. We don't actually see the ending of the fight, I don't think. But they go home, and basically everyone ages to a point where they're either dying or a couple of them die. And, like, this isn't really, like, ruining anything to the story because they die, like, the first episode. But she is still alive. Her and there's a dwarf in the party that is also still alive, but they are just very long-lived. The other two are humans, and they basically die pretty early on. Frieren, she's like over 1,000 years old. She's pretty old. She has not really shown very much emotion or grief or anything like that because of them dying. Because compared to her, the hero and the other like party members, she did not really spend that much time with them. I mean, she might have spent like 20 years with them or something like that. Which 20 years out of 1,000 is just a small little stretch of time. So she has not really understood like how much they meant to her. And as the story goes on, she is traveling with a young mage that's her apprentice called Fern. And then also she picks up an apprentice, which is the apprentice of the dwarf from her party, Stark. And she travels around with them, and she's kind of following the route the party took to the Demon King, Demon Lord's castle. And apparently there at the Demon Lord's castle or whatever, there is a place that is basically heaven where you can see dead people. And she wants to go and see her friends from the party. And it's just very good storytelling. Very, very good. And it's a lot of like, there's a lot of meme potential in this. And it's funny too, and it's just great. If you are at all like fantasy, you'll love it. If you like D&D and you like D&D party kind of things or whatnot, you'll like it. This is basically a D&D party after they've already finished their quest. And it's like, what is life like after the quest? It's just very, very good. I cannot say how much I like this. Like, this is my favorite this season. And I have a few of, like, the meme potential kind of stuff. So we have Frieren here holding a Bible, and bad things are bad. She also hates demons or whatever. We also have her smug grin. She always gives off kind of a smug aura to her. Then also we have her being trapped in a mimic, because apparently that is a joke in the story that she always got trapped by mimics because she's always looking around for grimoires or magic books, because she loves collecting spells. And you might be like, oh, so she likes like fireball and like other spells like that. It's not really spells like that. One of the spells she gets is a spell to clean like a rust or clean statues, basically. So to clean things. She also has one that cleans like pots and pans of grease. She has one that sprouts flowers around and stuff like that. She doesn't just do attack spells or anything like that. She just likes spells. She's just collecting. So, Frieren Beyond Journey's End is definitely my top pick for this season. It is great. If you don't watch any of the other ones I mentioned or whatever, just watch this one and that would be great. So now we have some honorable mentions, ones that I did watch that did not quite reach to the top 10, but we'll continue on. So, honorable mentions. Goblin Slayer Season 2. Goblin Slayer Season 2, I've been waiting for a Season 2 of Goblin Slayer for a while, since the first season ended. It is one of my favorites, but I could not put it up there in the top 10, just because I did not think it was as good as them. Like I said before, the top 10 are all good, okay? It was hard to specify which ones I wanted to put in the top 10. Because at one point, Goblin Slayer Season 2 was in there, but I had to put it down because... just because. But it is good. Okay, these next couple in the honorable mentions are good, just did not make it into the top 10. So, Goblin Slayer Season 2. We have Goblin Slayer. He slays goblins. So, this season he was slaying goblins. He also met High Elf Archer's sister, which was getting married. I don't know how much else happened. I mean, they slayed goblins. He also trained some new adventurer recruits, like some younger adventurers. He trained some of them, which one of them was a sibling to one of the people that died in Priestess's original party. It was their brother or whatnot. So Priestess felt like she had to try to teach him. But yeah, slaying goblins, seeing how they slay goblins, and just seeing... I like how High Elf Archer and Priestess and the Dwarf and the Lizard Man and Goblin Slayer, they all have good chemistry and stuff like that. This is the D&D game, okay? If, like, Freer End is kind of like a journey afterwards, this is their quest, okay? This is Goblin Slayer's quest. This is a D&D game, basically. So, if you like D&D, watch Goblin Slayer. Or if you just like fantasy, just watch Goblin Slayer. Then I have some memes here for Goblin Slayer. So, Goblin Slayer, oh, look at these 4 girls here that, like, definitely kind of like him. No, I don't like girls, no. Now, goblins. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, slay. We also have this one here. Did someone say goblins? Also have this one here. It's like, Papa, there's a monster under my bed. What? There's no monster. Goblin Slayer is under the bed. Then we have this one here. And this is the first episode of Goblin Slayer. But, who are you? And then we have Doom Slayer here to kill demons. But this one, instead, he's going to be killing goblins. Which I've heard people say that Goblin Slayer is kind of similar to Doom Slayer, as he just kills indiscriminately. So, yeah, Goblin Slayer is very good, okay? This is, like, I guess, the unofficial number 11, because it would have been. So, let's move on to the next one. Oh! Okay. Girlfriend, Season 2. If you were on Twitter and you saw my tweets around August of last year, that is when I watched Girlfriend, Season 1. And I saw a meme, okay? The meme was, oh, if you watch Girlfriend and while you're drunk, or at least slightly intoxicated, it becomes the funniest show ever. And I'm like, okay, bet. Okay, I'll go ahead and give it a try. So I went ahead and I drank a little bit. And I watched it. Girlfriend was not that bad whenever I was slightly intoxicated. And then I was like, oh, Girlfriend Season 2 is coming out this time. I had a fairly alright time with it. I'll watch this new one. Girlfriend Season 2 is quite a bit better than Season 1. I will say that. Because we have 4 girls now, okay? And I cannot specify how much I love one certain character of this series. And if you haven't seen already, okay, if you look around the screen here, you might be able to tell who my favorite character is. She has very embarrassing facial expressions, I guess. She's very excitable. She can stare you down like nothing else. And she's just very, very cute. Plus, she has white hair. And if that has not told you who it is yet, it is Shino. Shino is my favorite girl in this, and I cannot specify how much she is better than all the rest of the girls. That might be a hard pill for some of you to swallow, but just accept it. So, Girlfriend is basically the premise of the show, is this one guy, finally, Saki, the red-haired girl, starts dating him. And not just that same day, another girl confesses to him, Nagisa, the kind of blackish blue-haired girl there. And he says yes to both of them. And you might think, oh, this would only happen in anime, and you are exactly right. But they kind of work it out, and they both live at the same house, and they have somewhat good chemistry together. You know, it's not bad. Then we have Rika, the yellow-haired one, that she is a YouTuber, and she tries to butt in and also likes our main character, which I don't think I've seen our main character's name, but he is Noya. And he does not like Saki, but near the end of this season, he finally is like, you know what? We'll give it a try. I'll give you, like, I think he's like 5 months or something like that. He gives her like a few months to try to get him to like her. Then we have Shino here, which is Saki's best friend in the world, and she has secretly had a crush on Noya for the longest time. And she keeps saying, oh, I don't like him, I don't like him. And then she's finally like, you know what? I'm going to throw my hat in the ring. And she is the best girl for that, you know? She tried to hold back, but she couldn't. And I have some facial expressions of her and some pictures of her. And I also have this one meme that I saw that actually cemented that I was going to watch season 2. And it was Saki just sitting there, like, massaging her. And it's like, you seemed angry, so I thought I'd squeeze your boobs and made you horny, so it might quell your anger. That is a just god-tier move from you, Saki, I swear. But yeah, Girlfriend Season 2, I could not put it at, in the top 10. Okay, I don't think it's that good. But it is a guilty pleasure, like I said, for harem animes. So, I would highly recommend it if you like harem animes. But, it's not for everyone. So, let's move on. Dead Mount Death Play Part 2. Dead Mount Death Play was one of these that, like, just kind of looked cool the first part. And I continued watching it in this part. This is the point where it kind of starts to go down in, like, likability. Because this one was not really that enjoyable to me. I mean, there's cool parts in it and stuff like that. It's still pretty good. And we got a lot more plot stuff. But it's not, I don't think it's as good as the first season. Because first season, there was a lot of mystery. Now, in part 2, there's not as much mystery. Quite a few of our questions have been answered. There's still a lot of ones that aren't. But we have Polka here, the white hair with a black, kind of like, I guess, would be considered highlight in his hair. And that is Polka's body, but inside of it is the corpse god, which, if you can guess, the corpse god is probably not a very good person, which he was a pretty good person in his last world. But he's a necromancer. And he went ahead and revived the body of Polka and is using it as his own body. And he put Polka's body, soul, inside this little shark here in the bottom. Actually, I need to move myself so you can see him. Into Polka's shark here. Then we also have Misaki. Misaki, yes. Which Misaki here has evolved from being like just an undead, which was killed by the corpse god Polka here, to now she is like a vampire. Yeah, so pretty cool. Then, like I said, we have Polka actual shark here. And then we have the shark lover herself over here, which is Seo. Which she just loves everything shark. And, like, she is probably the character I resonate with the most from this show. Like I said, this one wasn't as good of a part. Still alright, and it's leading to something cool in the next, I guess, season. But we'll see how it is. This is kind of like Rising of the Shield Hero Season 2. It wasn't as good, but it is still alright. So, let's move on to the next one. Oh, wait, did I give a synopsis of this? Okay, yeah, well, whatever. Basically, he got reincarnated into Polka's body here. He is trying to live a peaceful life, but of course, everyone around him is special and is trying to do something with this world, because there's some other people from the other world that are trying to do stuff in this world, and everything is confusing. I don't know. I don't know for sure if other people feel confused about this, but there's so much stuff happening that there's tons of characters. Everyone in this is special. That's the best I can say. So yeah, if you want to, give it a try, and we'll see if you like it. This one technically is not over, but there's only one episode left, and I don't know what's keeping it. I have not looked up, but we have Butarabe, the story of a man who turned into a pig. There's not really much to this story. So we have a guy that dies, I think, eating pig liver. I think that's what it was. and he gets reincarnated into another world as a pig. And then this girl, she can read his mind, and she reads his mind, figures out that he was a human that was reincarnated. She kind of saves him from being, like, probably slaughtered since he's a pig at a farm. And then they travel to the royal capital. There's some people that try to kill him along the way. There's not much more to the story. And the main reason why I stuck with the story was there's got to be something that happens, right? Like, when they get to the royal capital, what happens? I mean, that's like the main goal. And I still don't know what it is because they haven't put the last episode up. But it is very uninteresting. I don't know. I wanted something to happen so bad that I just continued watching. And don't get me wrong, the girl's cute, okay? There's some cute people in here. And, like, good-looking people. But it's just very... I'm very let down. So, this is one I would not really recommend. But it was alright. It's kind of an interesting concept. Being reincarnated as a pig. So, I don't really have any much more to say about that other than it's kind of like a letdown. Oh, this one. This one's one that I tried my best to stop watching. But I always had a little bit of time, and I'm like, it's got to get better, right? And we have our dating story, the experienced you and the inexperienced me. So, the experienced one is the girl. She has had a lot of boyfriends, but they never last more than, like, I think 3 months or something like that. The guy is very inexperienced. I don't think he's had a girlfriend or something like that. And it's just them trying to date. And, like, what they run into and stuff like that. They run into a lot of, like, jealousy kind of stuff. They run into stuff that, like, they think they're lying or something like that. Which it's always, always, always a misunderstanding. That's what gets me mad. Which this is probably like the stereotypical high school, like, I guess, relationship or something like that. Everyone hormones are flying and stuff like that. And, like, jealousy, lying, yeah, stuff like that. But, like, it just gets me so mad trying to watch this. I don't want to watch something like this. I want my harem. I don't want a real life love story. I want just something that's, like, going to make me, like, kind of laugh or happy or something like that. This sometimes did, but most of the time I was just mad. And I don't know if anyone else felt the same way, but it's just kind of unlikable. I finished watching it. It ended all right, and I mean, it had a kind of cute ending, but, like, through the whole story, I'm sitting here, I'm like, you should just quit watching this. This is not worth your time to sit here and watch. It's 12 episodes, 24 minutes each. That's a lot of time you could be spent watching something else. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I would not recommend this one. I really would not. It's, unless you just want, like, a love story that's going to make you mad, that's about it. So, that is all of my top 10s and stuff like that. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope this kind of gives you an idea of, like, stuff you want to watch. Or you might agree with some of my, like, review of these. I hope I didn't spoil, but I gave a spoiler warning at the very beginning, so you were warned. Maybe you're one of these people that doesn't care about being spoiled, and you watched this and were like, oh, this sounds interesting. I didn't think I was going to watch this, but it sounds interesting, more interesting than the synopsis did. So if you're one of those people, there you go. Here's your explanation for all these series. So yeah, I'll see you guys next time, I guess, when we look at the winter 2024 season. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. So, bye!